Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my presentation about decision making. This video would serve as an introduction to make you acquainted to the terms and definitions that may be used in the many processes and approaches to decision making. So let's first discuss the objectives of this presentation. In this presentation, we will talk about what decision making is, the conditions for making a decision, and the decision making as a management responsibility. So, what is decision making? Decision making may be defined as a process of identifying and choosing alternative courses of action in a manner appropriate to the demands of the situation. Most of the time, we encounter instances where we cannot get everything that could benefit us or the organization. So, what we do is we find and choose an alternative that would allow us to solve the problem at hand. These alternatives can be explored and studied in order to make a sound decision. Decision making is the heart of the management functions. So, just like us, we cannot function without a heart. We cannot even live without it. The same goes for projects and businesses. In order for a project to succeed, right decisions are made. Decision making is the way of making choices by establishing a decision, collecting data, and analyzing alternative resolutions. By arranging relevant information and identifying options, using a step by step decision making approach will help you make more deliberate and reflective decisions. This technique increases the chances of selecting the most rewarding option possible. So, in this definition, more information will be given on the topic about decision making processes and approaches. So, what are the conditions for making a decision? Firstly, you must have at least two choices from which to choose. This definition is very straightforward since you cannot make a decision with only one option. Second, you must involve something that is achievable. As a decision maker, kailangan mo muna i-assess yung situation, kung kaya ba ito makuha or kung may paraan para makamit ang decision na yun. And lastly, the third option is that you must have the power to decide. So not all of the members of an organization can decide. Yung meron lang kapangyarihan ang pwede, like the leader of the group or the manager. To further understand the decision making and the management responsibility, let's look at this example. The production manager of a certain organization has received a written order from a section head about the procurement of an air conditioning unit. Almost simultaneously, another request from another segment was forwarded to him requiring the purchase of a forklift. His superior told the production manager that he could only purchase one of the two requested products due to budgetary constraints. So, in this example, the conditions are met. You must have at least two choices from which to choose. So there's the procurement of an air conditioning unit and the purchase of the forklift. It also must involve something that is achievable. It is achievable since he is able to purchase one of the two. And you must have the power to decide. Since he is the project manager, he is able to make the decision. Decision making as a management responsibility. Decisions need to be taken at different levels in an organization. So, going back to the example, after making a decision, pwede na yung mga different level ng organization ang mag-decide kung ano ang magandang brand ng air conditioning unit that would satisfy the given budget or kung ayun yung decided option ng production manager. Pwede rin naman si production manager na rin ang pumili, but it just goes to show that inside the organization, there are many levels that also makes decisions. If certain resources must be used, someone must make a decision authorizing certain persons to appropriate such resources. The second is engineering manager is responsible for decision making. So just like in the conditions discussed earlier, yung may power lang ang pwede mag-decide, and that person would be responsible for the effects of these decisions. He would be responsible if he had made the wrong choice. Third, Engineering managers are responsible for choosing an option as reliable as possible. So, going back again to the example, kailangan niya mag-decide kung anong mas maganda. Pwedeng bumaba ang productivity ng mga tao if hindi air conditioning unit ang pinili, or pwedeng mahirapan ang mga workers if hindi binili ang forklift. So, bahala na si manager kung ano ang dapat i-prioritize. Managers who cannot or do not want to make decisions should be removed from their position. As previously mentioned, decision-making is the heart of all management functions, and just like a person, kung hindi magampanan ng puso ang kanyang trabaho, hindi ito magtatagal. Isang malaking issue kung bakit hindi nagiging successful ang mga projects is due to the incompetence or the poor decision-making of these managers. Decisions are made at various management functions, in planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. Decision-making are present in every step of the way. For example, decisions on what to do is needed in planning. Decisions on what to focus on first is present on the organizing, directing, and controlling part of the organization. Pwedeng mag-decide kung sino ang mag-work in this particular part, kung anong machine ang priority given a specific budget, and more. So, this concludes my presentation on the decision making. I hope all of you learned something today, and goodbye.